It was Saturday morning. Esperus grabbed her wig and put it on, heading out of the house and down the steps to go to the neighbor's house. She knocked at the front door. "Why, hello, Esperus, honey. What are you up to today?" A pleasant, plump housewife answered the door. "Can Billy come out to play?" Esperus asked. Billy was a year older, but Esperus liked boys, and although she liked Barth at school, she liked Billy too. "Wait just a minute," said his mother. She could hear Billy whining and protesting from his bedroom that he didn't want to play with Esperus. No, she overheard. The woman returned and said, "Billy doesn't feel too well today, maybe some other time." Esperus thought a moment. Then she pointed to the camper in the yard. "You got a squirrel living in your camper," she said. "He goes in through that top part, that vent thing." "Okay, thank you, Esperus," Billy's mother replied. Esperus thought some more. A cat walked by. "You got any cookies?" she asked. "No, Esperus, now you run along now." To which Esperus tilted her head to the side, her wig crazy on her head, and only said, "God bless you. I'll pray for you." And Billy's mother shut the door. Esperus walked a block or so over to the nursing home. That's where they keep a lot of old people in beds and wheelchairs. She let herself in and walked past reception to the dining room, where the tables had been cleared away and the elderly sat in wheelchairs. One old woman had a child's baby doll in her lap and kept repeating, "What'll I do? What'll I do? What'll I do? What'll I do?" Esperus approached her and concerned said, "God bless you. I'll pray for you." To which the old woman replied, "What'll I do? What'll I do? What'll I do?" Esperus took her by the wheelchair and began to push her in circles, joining in with the "What'll I do? What'll I do?" "What'll I do? What'll I do? I'm gonna pray for you. What'll I do? What'll I do? I'm gonna pray for you," over and over until an orderly came and shooed her away. Leaving the nursing home, Esperus was bored, so she went home to go fishing. She grabbed a troll doll and tied it to a string at the end of a stick and climbed a tree, where she stayed as long as she could, dangling the troll doll and pretending it was a fish. While she fished, she dreamed of Barth, the boy she liked at school, and Billy, whom she had just tried to visit. She had to step up her game and make herself attractive like the girls at school. Then the boys would like her. She had an idea. It was the time for the gift exchange at school. Esperus let her mother know that she had drawn Diana's name for the gift exchange. The gift exchange purchase was limited to $1. Her mother had purchased a lifesaver book for Esperus to take to school for Diana. Esperus could not believe it. Lifesaver books were the best treat ever. She wanted the lifesavers for herself. Why doesn't her mother ever buy her a lifesaver book? But she knew it would make an impressive gift for Diana. She wondered what she would get herself and who would draw her name. Maybe Barth, the boy at school that she liked, had drawn her name. What could be better than a lifesaver book? She hoped that whoever drew her name got her one too. It was the day of the exchange. Esperus had nothing to be ashamed of taking a lifesaver book as a gift. However, she had more on her mind. She had boys on her mind. Esperus wanted to look special for the day of the gift exchange. And she wanted to smell like an irresistible woman. The morning before school, she went into her mother's bathroom. She took her mother's perfume and gave herself a spray. It was so strong, but she guessed boys liked it. Then she pulled out the Revlon red lipstick that her mother always wore from the vanity shelf. She applied it best she could, but really wasn't tall enough to see into the bathroom mirror over the sink. Her mother came into the bathroom, which was unusual, since she usually just stayed in bed when Esperus got ready for school. "What are you doing?" Mother asked. "That's my lipstick," she scolded and snatched the lipstick from Esperus. "You didn't even put it on right. You're not going to school like that," she said as she rubbed the lipstick off of Esperus. "What made you think you need lipstick?" she asked while she cleaned the lipstick off. Esperus, ashamed, just said, "Boys like lipstick." It was the best answer she could come up with. "Well, you're too young to wear lipstick and perfume. You stay out of my things. They're mine," she scolded angrily. The gift exchange at school had happened at the end of the day before winter break. The children had had gifts and cookies, and it was already getting dark in the Illinois winter. As the bell released the excited children, they screamed and gathered to make their way to the bus or the cars or to walk home with their gifts and their holiday artwork to give to their mothers. Esperus began to walk up the hill 1 block to home. Her heart was near to bursting. Diana had been pleased with the Lifesaver book, who wouldn't be? But Esperus felt that she herself had received the best gift of all. She had received a nativity scene. It was such a grown-up gift. It wasn't a game or a doll or a Lifesaver book. But it was better than all those things. Esperus' little chest swelled with awe and pride as she carefully carried the nativity home up the hill. Mother would be so impressed with the brown wood stable, the figurines, the little trees, all dusted with glitter like snow. She would surely want to show it off with the rest of her holiday decorations on the mantelpiece over the fireplace. The Illinois early sky was turning black, save for the cold purple and orange streaks in the clouds. Esperus walked home from school, and her knees were chafed red from the cold above her knee socks that were damp along with her shoes. Entering the house, she called to her mother. "Mother, mother," she called and ran to her mother's side. "I got the very best present in the gift exchange out of everybody." She showed the nativity to her mother. "It's wood, and it's very valuable. Can we put it on the mantelpiece?" Esperus was so proud to contribute to the holiday decor. Esperus' mother peered at the nativity scene. "Oh, gack! That's not wood. That's brown plastic." Esperus was stunned. "But it has snow," Esperus protested. "That's just a cheap piece of plastic with some glitter glued on the top, and not glued very well either. You're not putting that with my holiday decorations," she said, and turned her back and resumed reading her book. Esperus was stunned. Cheap piece of plastic? Glitter glued on and not very well? She looked down onto the object. Yes, I guess it was plastic. Yes, she could see that the glitter was a little messy. The world spun. Esperus' feelings were hurt. How could her mother say something so mean? As her soul gazed on the brown plastic nativity scene sprinkled randomly with flaking silver glitter, something moved. Her soul expanded it. There was suddenly nothing in life but the brown nativity, its silver glitter, reflecting and sparking from the light of the TV in the dark, empty living room and the string lights along the mantel. The furnace kicked on from down in the basement and rattled the grate in the corner, blowing its warm heat into the corner of that very cold living room there in the house at the top of Elm Street. The Illinois evening was black, save for that cold and purple in the clouds outside. She sat with a little cheap plastic nativity scene in her hands, its glitter snow not glued on very well, and looked on it some more. Mother had retreated to the other side of the house. Esperus, now home from school, had been so excited at first about the upcoming holiday and pondered. Now something had changed. The granting of the gift of the nativity, such a grown-up gift, entrusted to her, such a tiny little 4th grade girl. She was suddenly all alone. In her mind's eye, she could see the dark evening street where she lived with its sidewalks and good neighbors and trees in the dark. Her soul expanded as she gazed at the plastic figures and the roof of the nativity, and there was nothing else in the world. This was so important. So important. And though Mother had offended her with scoffing and turning away and calling it a cheap piece of plastic with some glitter glued onto it, Esperus dismissed her opinion. Yes, she had managed to take some of the magic of the treasure away, but its importance remained, and she could not take that away. Esperus would not permit it. There was a message here somewhere in this cheap piece of plastic. And her soul expanded, and that nativity scene was as large as the universe. The slant of the roof, the brown plastic shaped like wooden boards, and the glitter snow, the faces of the figures, the tiny plastic baby in the manger, and the crowns. Sitting there with the item in her small hands, there was a shift in the universe. There was only this treasure and her. She vowed to herself with very grown-up thought never to be as unkind to a child as her mother had just been to her. She could have been excited with me, she thought. She could have said something nice. Other mothers would. She pondered for a moment, stopped in her tracks. She slammed the door on her heart toward her mother in that very moment. Mother's opinion henceforth would not hold as much weight. That was her resolve as she gazed protectively at the cheap piece of plastic, its silver glitter depicting snow. The world shifted, the universe moved in her soul. Esperus placed the cheap piece of plastic on the mantelpiece with the rest of the holiday decorations and sat down on the brown stool to watch TV and wait to see if Mother was going to make some dinner. End of part 2.